Hey Carter. Hey, right off the bat, incredible trap. And then the vision to play that ball. I don't know if there's a player in what happened here, but how you put that ball right behind that back line. Dude, that was phenomenal, man. Great leg right here. Perfect control right behind that center back. Amazing job. Way to make an impact right off the bat. Another nice clip. Great pressure right here. Okay. That pressure forced that turnover by the goalie. Let's take a look and see if there's anything you could have done maybe a little different. Okay. Second clip here. Try to get that ball here. But look at that. Like, even though you couldn't control it, that pressure that you put on, that speed, that kind of intimidation power that you provide as a forward, running down the throats of defenders, it really scares them. And did you see how all of a sudden your pressure made the goalie scared, play that one-time ball, and then you guys picked it off here? So, what I want you to think about is the scenario here, receiving. Okay. So, in order to properly receive it, a couple things have to happen. And usually it happens before, well in advance, 2, 3, 5 seconds, even more, and it's creating a plan. So, I'm going to ask you, what was your plan here based on your vision of yourself? Were you reacting to the scenario or were you proactively creating a plan based on that? And so if you said you're reacting, right, you're probably right, right? And that's very common and it's hard to consistently always be turned on, thinking ahead, creating plans, right? But usually we see tail cues and tails. So look at your head. Had you scanned? Right? If you had scanned, right, rather than just kind of watching the trajectory of the ball and been like, what if I were to get the ball here? What am I going to do? Is your best option to try to dribble to the sideline? Is it to come in, right? Is it to try to play one touch to this guy? That's what makes us good soccer players. It's the decisions combined with the technical brilliance, right? So because you didn't ask for the ball and you said ball or clap your hands or direct them where you wanted that ball, you received it here, right into two levels of pressure instead of where. Where should you have received it if you wanted to probably, um, maybe even scored, given an assist, right? And you'd probably say, like, I probably should have talked and communicated at right now. Okay, you should have been clapping for that ball, asking for it, and you should have already scanned this player in the space. Because soccer, it's a big field. So if you take that touch here, right? Or maybe even better, fake this way, right? Check in that way to draw this player in with like a slight quick movement. He's going to react and go this way. And you can take the ball in here, right? And then you can drive that space. Or if he stays in front of you, you just play a nice ball in and he's on a breakaway. And congratulations, you just got, assists there and you made a huge impact with really minimal change in your game. Just a little proactive nature. Hey, great job right here. Okay. Making a run. Hey. Uh, I gotta delete the. All right. Here you are. Continuing your run. Free on the ball. Great dribbling there. Right. Putting into the middle. And then understanding I probably shouldn't dribble 5 players by myself. I need to build more players in, right? And so you play that ball. Okay. Now, let's, this is kind of an obvious one, right? You should have played it to their feet, right? But the important thing is activating your teammates. And how do you activate your teammates so that they're ready, they understand, and that the lines of communication are open? Right? And it's all basic stuff, right? It's just conditioning you to create the patterns to do it consistently, right? Because obviously you would say yes if I were like, hey, just say his name, right? And then if you say his name, what's he going to do? Going to be ready. He's going to tension. He's going to be on the balls of his feet. He's going to be ready to receive a ball, right? And then it doesn't go through two players because they didn't know who was supposed to get the ball. So huge part of the game is communication, right? But great first step in dribbling, taking your space. I'd love to see that and how comfortable and confident you were to dribble there. That's great to see, and that's huge progress. But to bounce off of that last point, here you're receiving. Why'd you lose the ball? Was it because a bad ball? Was it because of a bad touch? Was it because of the pressure around you? Or was it really a communication issue? Were you communicating that you wanted the ball? If you were communicating that you wanted the ball there, first of all, would you communicate you wanted the ball there? Maybe, right? But for the sole purpose of what? To dribble three, four players around you or to go this way? To try to dribble through this gap where two players are going to close on you quick? Or to play a one touch there, right? Now, if you had been communicating that, that would be a brilliant ball. But because you hadn't seen that yet and had the vision and the plan in your head, are you going to be able to create that plan with all those players around you when after you had received the ball? Because watch what happens, right? Once you're receiving the ball, that space is closed, right? And if you were to ask for the ball here, you probably would have done something a little bit differently and probably positioned yourself a little bit more this way, right? Um, ask for the ball, which would have maybe given you a firmer pass, which would have given you more time. And then what's the other option, Carter? Is there a way you can contribute and communicate even if you don't receive the ball? So, what should you be saying before that ball comes to you if that's not the best option? If you're understanding, maybe let's not play into that group of four players. Maybe let's look to switch it, right? And so, what you could say is like, hey, drive inside, right? What if he drives inside and he can play this player? Okay. Then you could maybe make this kind of run because he'll probably have pressure on his back if you were to receive the ball here. So if you can come underneath it here, he could drop it to you and you could run in right to the middle of the goal for a shot. Well, Carter, congratulations, man. Now you've just upgraded to the level that you're now on the stat sheet, right? See what you did? That flick on right there created the opportunity for the shot. So now you're putting on stats, right? And that's a forward's job, right? You got to be in charge. There's a lot of pressure as a forward, right? Because you're in charge of your team scoring, right? Whether you're scoring or you're assisting or helping to build, right? That's your responsibility. That's your job, right? And you just put a stat on your sheet for assist right there. Great job. Let's keep working on figuring out ways you can get those assists and goals by watching your film with your spacing or your dribbling or your shooting ability. Or usually it's like the communication and spacing that you have to first have, right? And then it's like the dribbling to be able to find the space and the shooting to be able to execute the shot. So the first thing is like, can we get you on the ball in areas to be able to find those shots? And then the second thing, oh, to communicate to get the ball. And then can we develop your technical, your dribbling, your shooting to be able to execute the shots necessary to score? Great job, man. I'm proud of you.